Hey, hi guys, this is Hamza Khan, and welcome back to the second video of this series of me building a productivity system in public. So, after a lot of thinking, I have decided to name the app Pursuit. What is Pursuit? Pursuit is basically an online goal tracking app which helps you identify your goals and write them in a clear way and then track them throughout. So, let's see. Okay, so let's discuss about the problem before we move to the solution part. So this is a very personal problem which I have also faced in past. So what most people, most of us set very ambitious goals for ourselves, right? Be it getting fit, or going for a run every day, or learning a new coding language, or growing our social media accounts. It can be anything, but we basically have to use a lot of uncollaborated systems to track our goals, which then basically leads to three main problems. Since we do not have one whole system to track our goals, it leads to false progress. So maybe you, for example, you start learning Python, right? And you estimate that you will need 100 200 hours to learn Python to an intermediate level. So basically, you start learning, you start browsing, YouTube videos or paid courses or free courses online, right? But after doing it for 3 to 4 days, you are still stuck, and you have still have not made any progress. And then you basically do not even know how much time you have actually spent on learning coding in Python itself. So basically, what it leads to three main problems. First is first is that you have a false progress in your mind that you are actually learning. Second, when you realize that that you are not learning anything, it leads to burnouts, and lose motivation in your goals. And this is the stage where around 80 to 90% people actually leave their goals and then start a new goal itself. And since you cannot basically track your goals properly, how much time you have spent, you cannot plan for for the future course of action. So I did a lot of market research to solve this problem, and to get basically any online app or website which can help me solve this problem. So there are basically, in the productivity space as of now, there are three types of apps. First is your to-do list apps, right, where you can list your tasks that you need to do for the day, and you can tick them off. And the second one is the time tracking tools online, which basically have a clock where you can start and stop, right? And the third one is the habit tracking apps, where you can basically make streaks like Snapchat, so for your goals. But the main problems with these apps are, they are not very integrated. So you have a separate apps where you have to list your tasks. Then there are separate tools for tracking your goals, and there is a third separate app which will help you build these goals. So as a result, even though a person can be very very motivated, even then they will have to use these bunch of tools, and which basically which and most of the time, instead of working on their goals, they are working on on moving from one tool to another. So what I used to do personally was, I had a to-do list app, then I had an online tracking tool. With that, I also had an Excel sheet where at the end of the day, I have to go there and manually mark, okay, I did this thing for the day. Oh, I did not complete this, so let's move it to the next day itself. So all this made me understand, there's a very core gap, between these apps, and therefore for that reason I built Pursuit. So for people, there were majorly two problems, right? When even the most ambitious ones of us, or when we are so motivated at the start, right, we face these two problems. First one is we dramatically underestimate the effort required to complete a particular goal, right? So maybe let's say I get very motivated after seeing a YouTube video on on learning coding skills, and I decided, yeah, I need to learn coding. Then I say, okay, how much time I'll need? First problem is that I'll say, okay, I can learn coding in 20 30 hours, which is very very less than actual time required. Second thing is, after setting up these 50 hours, or 60 hours for this, for a particular goal, we lose our visibility and tracking of time in between. So maybe I start very motivated, and for in 2 to 3 days, I'll be super motivated to that I'll work for 4 to 5 hours, right? But after 3 days, I lose the momentum for one day, and hence I basically lose the track of time. So on maybe on 7th day, I was like, how much time I have actually spent on learning this particular thing. This single these single insight lead me to build Pursuit. All right. So introducing Pursuit to all of you. What is Pursuit? Pursuit is an online goal tracking app which helps you define your goals in a clear way with a very clear objective. With that, you can track your goals and track your time that you have spent on your goals in the app itself. With that, it helps you it accumulates all the time that you have spent working on a particular pursuit. And at the end of the day, you can see that okay, for example, that I need to do this task for 10 hours. I have done it for 5 hours, so I need to spend 5 more hours on this. This loop basically helps you visualize your growth, that okay, I needed to do 10 hours, I have done 5 hours, so I am halfway there, which basically helps you motivate further to complete your goals. And for this app, there was one more problem that I identified with a lot of, productivity apps that are available today, is that, they are basically very complex for a individual who just want to, maybe define their goals and work on them. It was way too complicated where you have to add your projects and, the sub projects and then billing hours, not billing hours, which I identified, are not required for an individual who just want a list of their goals and then track them. So for that reason, I have decided to keep the app user experience very simple, which is that you create a goal, you start the timer, you stop the timer. The timer will automate the app will automatically save the number of hours you have spent on that particular session on that particular goal. That's it. So I think this is it for this video, and we will continue this series. Also, on a very important note, if you want to try this app out, I will link a Google Form link in the description of this video, where you can just go and add your name and your emails there. And as soon as we are done testing the app, so I have built the app as of now using no code tools. I'll just go ahead and spend 2 3 days to test the app, and then we will basically roll out the app. So meanwhile, what you can do is you can fill out the Google